A flash mob on the 405. We're learning new details tonight about this very dangerous, scantily clad demonstration today in Costa Mesa. Video going viral on social media. CHP tells Eyewitness News they got a number of 911 calls just before 12:30 today, reporting the 20 women running in red and blue shorts and sports bras along the northbound lanes in Bristol.
Ethika is a cult following, and what actually happens here isn't known to the masses. That always amazed me is how die-hard people would be for something that is so brand new to them.
So they said I had liver disease at one point. I was in the hospital. They told me I was going to die. I was writing letters to my kids. I mean, that's how traumatic it was, right? So, you know, it's like if you're sitting in bed, you're all day, every day, you're just asking yourself what the purpose is.
On the big boy here, man. This is the interview that I felt that had to be done, Matt. You know what I'm saying? I know you don't do a lot of these, bro. Ethika as a brand and as a lifestyle has been something that, it sounds crazy when it's been so close. You know how people say things been close to my heart, it's been so close to my balls for so many years, man, that you never get a chance to sit down and speak with someone about what started that vision.
Right.
And first off, man, we know Ethika. You know what I'm saying? We know the great work that you guys do, not just in apparel and not just in, you know, underwear or sports and everything, but just as a brand. And when you see a brand, sometimes we know the brand, but we don't know the man, you know? And when I had a chance to say I can sit down with Matt Cook, it was also about Ethika. But I wanted to speak with you to find out, first off, what is Ethika? How did that start, and who is Matt Cook? First with Ethika, bro, because
those are big questions. What is Ethika? I guess it could be one and the same.
From the name to the creation.
Yeah, so Ethika was started around 2007 it was founded by Malcolm McCassie. And he was an athlete manager for Alpine Stars. And he made some underwear and started giving them to all these athletes. And so for 3 or 4 years, hundreds, thousands of pairs were going out and being worn by athletes all the time. He loaned money from his family to create the product. And I met him at a Supercross event, and he had a book.
What brought you to the Supercross event?
You know, I was personally, you know, I was always into extreme kind of sports. Okay. So motocross, I raced snowmobiles, I rode for hyperlight wakeboarding for a period of time, competed. I played professional golf for a little while. So I just, you know, Supercross was something to me that I did for, you know, the competitiveness that I have, I think, you know, for racing and being on the motorcycle. So I like going and enjoying watching them with my kids. And I met him there, and he had this book with all of these athletes that I had known that were wearing the product, and asked me if I would invest in the company. And it looked to me like it was a layup, because I had no idea. My background isn't in brands, it's in technology, and so I didn't realize how hard it was going to be.
Right.
Yeah, so...
especially when you kind of start to get in.
Yeah.
That's when you know, like, man, this wasn't low-hanging fruit.
No. Because at the time, there was 0 sales. It was just promo to people. So for us to sell it, we would have to create, you know, multiple pairs and styles and take it into stores and convince buyers to buy it. We had many experiences where there'd be women buyers, 28 years old, and they'd be like, why is it so long? And where's the pee hole? And we'd be like, you don't get it, you know? And then if someone would buy it, they'd put it on the floor, and the salespeople didn't want to talk about underwear with other guys, right? So it was creepy. And so I had invested money, and about 2 years in, I was probably in a little over $5 million, and we were still losing money.
Oh my God.
Because we couldn't get you know, we were trying to push.
What kept you there with the vision? Because usually at $1 million. We're like, you know, maybe not.
It was 1.5 initially.
Yeah.
And
So
then it went to 5.
Yeah, and so
2.
at some point you start to see this through. But it's easier for someone to say, oh, here's a promo shirt, here's a promo this, here's free underwear. It's different when you go to buy it. And with Ethika, it's like you guys created a lifestyle.
Right.
Like Ethika makes you, and not made you, but you want to show
You want to put the
your
band
band
out there, yeah.
You know what I'm
It's
saying?
the association that it
But there was
gives
nothing
you.
like that.
Right.
You know, even if we go all the way back to like Hanes, you wasn't rocking tighty whities and trying to show, you know, oh, I'm rocking Hanes.
Right.
So there was nothing there that you could say, that's the blueprint, because you are the blueprint. That's the look that we're looking for. You had to create that. So when you look at $5 million, what kept you going?
I spent maybe 3 months deciding whether or not I was going to put good money after bad, or just cut bait and be done. And it came really close to just closing the doors. And people don't even know this. This is 2013. And people had thought we were this in 2009, you know, because all the athletes they saw wearing it, but it was nothing. So
because it looked the part.
It looked the part.
Perception, reality.
Exactly. And for me, I had to make a decision, okay, I'm going to put good money after bad. And if I'm going to do that, at the time I was retired from previous businesses that I'd sold. And so I was racing trucks professionally, off-road trucks.
You just wanted to do something to just kill yourself. I heard that.
I was like, just...
Yeah.
So I stopped doing that and decided I'm going to put all the focus in Ethika. And when I did that, then I analyzed, okay, what's the best way for me to approach this? And I looked at what moved culture in America. And to me, it was fashion, it was music, it was sports, events. That's culture, right? And so if I could create a brand that was about the culture, not about the product.
Right.
To me, the product had to be the best, period. And that's just a given, I think, in our company. And whatever we do, we want to be the best. And so that's a given. So what's the next step? The next step is creating a lifestyle brand and a culture for people that want to be a part of. And so that's what we focused on. And we did it through imagery. We did it with partnering with the right people. We did it with music. We've launched 4 mixtapes.
Yeah, speak on partnering with the right people.
Yeah, I mean, the relationships for us is everything. You know, we don't, I don't know if you can say this, but if we fuck with you, we fuck with you, regardless, right? And it doesn't matter if it's Lil Durk and he goes to jail, we still fuck with him. Right. Because people, whatever the circumstances are the circumstances, right? And so if you're aligned and you have a connection, then you just fuck with people. And so we just find those types of people that are like-minded and connect with them. And then what happens is, if you're a professional basketball player, or a football player, a soccer player, a BMX rider, or an artist, or a musician, Ethika becomes the nucleus for everybody to come in and feel just comfortable.
Yeah, and it's crazy, man, because Ethika, it doesn't feel like it's just underwear. You know what I'm saying?
It's more than that, it's a connection.
Yeah, like and when we say lifestyle and when we say culture, those things mean a lot. And it is lifestyle, it's culture, and even what you rocking under is just as important of what you rocking outside.
Right, because you feel inside, you know what you've got underneath.
But you did almost walk away a couple of times.
Yeah. Right to the edge.
Anyone tell you, and people that really cared about you as a human being, as a business mogul, did anybody tell you stop?
Yeah. Everybody.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that made me keep going.
I would tell you, and as a friend, I'd say, man, it's a money pit. Stop. Stop, because you don't think, and plus, bro, it was like, I don't know what rivaled Ethika. You know what I'm saying? So it wasn't like, it's either Ethika or not. Because we was already rocking something anyway, but it wasn't the way that felt. It didn't feel like culture, it didn't feel like ours, it didn't feel like the brand, you know what I'm saying? And then with the drops now, I mean, shit, it's just as important as, you know, I color coordinate mine. and
real shit,
dude,
way on purpose.
I literally go in my closet and I'll color coordinate what I'm wearing with the Ethicas that I'm putting on for that day.
Yeah, like I would approve every design, every stitch color, every band color, because I knew it mattered. It was part of the culture for
You're a mad scientist
you
too,
to
though.
fucking match your underwear band with your shoelaces.
What were some of the early collabs with?
So since Malcolm was heavy into motocross, we did a lot of motocross.
That's low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, for us. And so, and if you look at our customer base, we have a lot of moto customers, majority.
To this day?
To this day.
Yeah, man. When do you branch off and we start seeing, like, a lot of the hip-hop get into it as well? And when I say hip-hop, I'm not even speaking as just a genre of music. I'm talking about lifestyle. Well,
so when I decided to, you know, put 100% in and go after it, it was, okay, you know, fashion, music, sports, and whatnot. So music to me seemed to be the most easy way to get to everything else. It was the gateway, basically, right? Because if you're a snowboarder or an NFL player or a cowboy, you're listening to music. And so that connection would connect people. So that's why we went heavy from a marketing standpoint on mixtapes. We did 3 of them. The last one we did was called The Prophecy, where we picked people we thought were going to, in the future, blow up and put them on a mixtape together. So there's 4 total mixtapes that we did. And I want to say they have 40+ million streams on SoundCloud.
What's the difference between Ethika and other companies that's branding as well? Like, how important is it to, you know, U.S., China, you know, like how important is it when it comes to what Ethika as a brand is? Well,
if you look at the core values of Ethika, quality, leadership, innovation, culture, that was a big challenge initially for me. When I first went to China, we were in factories that were building was blown half apart. You could see the workers on the 3rd floor working, and their kids are running around in dirt with no shoes on. And so at that point, you could just see there was no ability to create a quality level.
Gotcha.
With that kind of an environment. And so I spent 21 times in 2-year period in China.
It mattered that much?
Yeah, building our own factory that we own, that's ours. We have 2 at 2 locations. And those factories look like this. It's the best place to work in the whole China.
I've been in here all day. You know what I'm saying? Like, the only thing that separated me from coming back is a little bit of the distance. But I've been in here all day. It's like a playground in here. And plus, man, even when we talk about lifestyle, like, just the staff, the vibe that's going on here. You know, I know we don't have smell-o-vision, but if y'all could just see what it smells like in here, you know what I'm saying? Which we'll get into as well. Like, you cover, even with this, bro. I would like I would show you guys like a full pack, but for some reason it's empty because it's right here and it's in his hand. But even the cannabis, man, this is a lifestyle.
Everything has to be the best.
And Ethika pressure.
Yep.
What is that?
It's part of the culture.
Yeah.
Right?
Hell yeah.
Really part of the culture, especially music culture. I mean, it's just part of the culture.
Is music important to you?
Music is probably everything to me right now, yeah.
Why do you want to present music a certain way? And let's talk about what that music is that Ethika is presenting.
Yeah. Well, so using music to build the brand, essentially, obviously got me into music and relationships with all of the artists that were on the mixtapes, and from Meek Mills to Kid Inks to Ace Hoods to 2 Chainz to Lil Wayne to Coi Leroy, right? All on our mixtapes. And they would give us a free song. We would compile it and put it out. And so there was just so much interaction from me building the brand and music. I was drawn to it. And the Ethika music started because I was at breakfast with my son. I was going through Instagram. I came across a freestyle girl doing freestyle rap, and I thought she was awesome.
Right.
I DM'd her, and the next day, she lived in DC, the next day she was here, and I took her to a studio in LA. Got Jaleel Beats, who's a friend and part of the brand, to give me beats, and we went and made music.
So what is Ethika music right now?
So what I realized is that there is a massive amount of talent out there that doesn't have a voice, and there's no way for them to really get out of the cycle that they're in. And so Ethika Music started as a label dedicated to help the underserved.
Right.
People didn't have a chance. Like, we'll take you in, we'll help you, develop you, we'll create the music for you.
Why was that important to you, though?
It was a way to give back to a community that helped build the brand, and it's just part of the culture. You know?
And even just sitting with you and probably knowing a little bit more than someone that's looking or listening to this interview, is there's more giving. You know what I'm saying? As far, you know, because the business is, and not any particular label, but we know that the business is, what could I gain? Take. But you've been in a position where it's been a lot of give. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And is that because you're passionate about seeing someone's dream, like, pretty much manifest?
Yeah, it's about being blessed to be in a position to help other people, right? And I was retired before I got into Ethika. Financially, I was okay.
Right.
And so the money was never the motivation.
Yeah.
It was always about, let's do something cool,
But
create cool moments,
and take on something this big. Like, when I retire, I'm assholes and elbows, bro. Like, I'm gone. So you really say, man, I was retired, but something brought you back into this. It's probably something that wasn't even familiar with you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
I know what it is, but yeah.
There was a love and a passion for it, too. And a love and a passion for people, I will guess, as well.
Yeah, to accomplish, create challenges for yourself.
Have you seen that manifest?
Yeah.
With?
Every time. Every time.
What's coming?
Well, I think the label's going to be the biggest label out there. I think the music that
Why
we've
should I
created,
listen to you? It's not like you built something before. You know, yeah, you know.
It's not like everything we do isn't the best.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, this guy.
I'll show you a video of the China factory. It'll blow your mind.
So you know that. And plus, what's the difference even with Ethika Music? What's the difference between Ethika Music as opposed to what's the norm when it comes to music business?
We're just doing things different.
Yeah.
You know, we're flying people, paying to fly them here, who we think potentially could have a chance to make it. We're paying to fly them here, create music with them, and potentially get signed to the label, and then help develop them and hopefully get them a pop. And the people that we have signed, we put them on salary. We take care of the people that are here, you know? And so it's just different than other labels. They're not willing to do those things.
But you never were like a music guy. Like you never were part of a band, or, you know how sometimes you have Oscar De La Hoya who's been in the ring, and that's why people say, oh, he know how to be a promoter because he's been in the ring. He's been in the fight. He know what it should be because he's been there. You know,
Yep.
A lot of basketball coaches, they played the game. But you come from not being in music, but you have that same approach that feels like either, man, I was an artist, I was a producer, I was this, and either it worked or it didn't work. So I know that I paid tuition into the School of Experience. That's why I take care of you so well. But you didn't come from that. But this is also the people business.
Right.
Yeah.
It's relationships.
Yeah.
Right? It's the people business. But so something that I don't talk about, and I haven't really since for maybe 10 years, when I was racing trucks, I had multiple concussions, and I had a traumatic brain injury. So in 2014, I remember I started getting symptoms, losing balance, eyesight would change, my ears would ring, things like that would happen. And so over 4 or 5 years, while I was building Ethika, I spent trying to deal with medication,
So you got this and that.
Yeah, and it wasn't until just 2 months ago that I had to have lower back surgery, and the doctor is also a brain surgeon who has spent 5 years researching traumatic brain injuries, and he had me do a scan. They kicked out a 100-page report, and then he sat with me and showed me all the damage in the brain, and I'm in the 90 to 95th percentile. But part of the brain that was damaged creates something called musicophilia. And
What is that?
Yeah, it's called musicophilia. So when I was in the studio, this is why I don't talk about it, about a month being in the studio, I started seeing things in 3D in my head, like every instrument coming down like Guitar Hero. So very meticulous on everything, because I could say, hey, take that trumpet out over there. I don't like that sound. It hurts my ear. And so those things are documented and scientific. It's called musicophilia. So the part of my brain that is damaged the most is responsible for music and language. And so he explained this to me, and then things started making sense. Because I was able to pick people, and this sounds good, that sounds good, this artist is good, and other people like that too, and they were like, how are you doing this? I started making my own beats.
From being a kid. This is nothing where you manifest and you...
This was 4 years ago.
And you just looked up and you noticed that.
It just happened.
Was it scary to you?
Yeah, I didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah. And that's also, you know how people say the gift and the curse?
Yeah.
I guess that's
I thought people thought I was crazy.
Yeah, the curse is the gift.
Yeah.
And you can't explain that, but it worked out. And it continues to work.
It only got explained to me like 2 months ago. A month ago.
And when we were just sitting down talking before we had a chance to really sit down and speak, you said you had some health issues. Mm-hmm. Is that what you were speaking on, or?
Yeah, so I had gotten COVID in August 2020. Mm-hmm. And because of the traumatic brain injury, the COVID took over my body and I was bedridden for about 11 months. And then I was out another 9 months before I started coming back to work. So I've been back for about 6 months.
Damn, from COVID?
Yeah.
And you know how when people say, man, like some people could shake it off, you know, it was like a cold. But it seemed like with the race and the lifestyle, like you're a busybody.
Yeah.
Like you like to get up. What was that 11 months like, man? Do you feel like did it feel like not a death sentence, but did it feel like, man, how do I get out of this? And plus, you're dealing with something that was really relatively new to all of us.
Yeah, I was in the, they said I had liver disease at one point. I was in the hospital. They told me I was going to die. I was writing letters to my kids. I mean, that's how traumatic it was, right? So, it's like if you're sitting in bed, you're all day, every day, you're just asking yourself what the purpose is.
Right.
So you wrestle with that, right? So,
does it make you look at life different now?
Yeah, perspective totally changes.
Yeah. How so?
When you get right down to it, you realize what's important and what's not important.
Yeah, man.
And connections with people, is what's important.
Hey, and when we went through the pandemic, we saw it was like the whole world had to sit down. It wasn't just like, oh, you got to sit down, and it messed with a lot of us as far as like, how do we get out of this? What is this? What's the changes? And a lot of people made you pivot. So with 11 months and plus another, 9 of just kind of getting back into your groove, when I say did it make you look at life different, of course you say yeah, and it had to. Does it make you view relationships and everything kind of different as well?
Yeah, because you spend a lot of time thinking about things.
Hell yeah.
So it's like...
Did you think you were out? Well, if you write letters,
Yep. Multiple times.
Do you come back with a vengeance?
Always, yeah.
Yeah. Did you create a lot while you felt like certain things were being taken away? When you think about, man, Ethika music,
Yeah.
But, sometimes when we're there too, our minds will tell us, oh man, if I get past this, or when I do this, clean slate. I'm doing this. Most of us don't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's like once you get that fresh air in your nostrils, you're like, oh, I did make a, I did kind of make a promise, and we kind of put it on the back burner. But you made sure that you came back with it.
Yeah, I mean, that's what drove me really, I think, to get back, is get the brand back to where it needed to be.
Did anyone know this? I
Maybe
mean,
a
of course,
handful of people.
Yeah. Why do you feel like such a ghost in the game, though?
I'm a backseat person.
Yeah, even sitting down doing this interview, it wasn't like you're like, oh man, big, we got to do this interview, bro. You know what I'm saying? I got a story to tell. You know, like even now, and I'm gonna pull back the curtain. You know, you got shades on. Like this isn't you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I was telling you as well. I was like, man, I said, Matt, people got to hear your story, bro, and your story got to come from you, because if not, people create different narratives. And those narratives, people, sometimes those take over the real individual, and sometimes you got to tell people, this is what I do. This is why I do it. As opposed to someone saying, man, why is he doing that? Why? I look around here and I see so many people that I rock with. I see me in a lot of these people here. You know what I'm saying? And that was the reason why I wanted to sit down with you as well, bro. Is like, you got to tell your story and,
I mean, that's what it's all about, is the connection.
Yeah, and what's
around people, right?
And what's around the corner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? What's around the corner? Because if we look in the rearview mirror at Ethika, what's around the corner for Matt Cook and Ethika?
Well, to me, like I say, music, fashion, sports, events is culture.
Right.
I want to own all of that. So I think that from a certain perspective and lens, we've captured the culture from an apparel standpoint with our underwear. And I think that within the next few months, you're going to see the music that's been created and the quality of it, the timelessness of that music. The sound of the music is a little bit different as well. I think that the space needs that.
Right.
We have 1,800 records done that we're ready to release.
How do you find 1,800 records? And that's
how I got divorced.
Right, yeah, okay, yeah.
I'm sitting in the studio for 7 days at a time.
So 18, and how does that music come to you?
That's what I didn't know. It just comes in my head.
Not even that. I'm talking about when you said like 1,800 records, right? How does someone find Ethika music?
Well, it's on my personal playlist right now. It's on my SoundCloud account, so it's private.
And how do you find the artist?
So we have our Let's Get Signed program.
Let's Get Signed. Talk to me about Let's Get Signed.
So Let's Get Signed is a program that we created to help the underserved artists. And they submit a song, we review the songs, we select people to come in, and the idea is to create a winner every quarter and sign them to a longer deal with the label and then develop them and create more music. And what happened was we had 7,800 submissions come in.
Yeah. Everybody want to get signed.
Everybody wants to get signed.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy. Because sometimes in the music business, man, if Ethika Music has Let's Get Signed, because a lot of the stuff too, bro, is let's get fucked. You know what I'm saying? And it feels like you don't want anything from anyone, because I've seen the give.
Yeah.
I've seen the give.
We don't. The thing is if you create a relationship with somebody and you have a connection with somebody and you have the ability to give, it makes you feel good. And it's about the relationship and the connection, that we have. And so if it's about the money, then you have an alternative motive always.
Gotcha.
And that alternative motive affects the relationship, which to me is the most important part.
What are the partnerships that you have? Because we know that there's been partnerships. We've seen, collabs. I know that there's one that's coming that we spoke about, off mic. But what are those partnerships, and who have the partnerships been with? And what do you see with Ethika, all under the umbrella, Ethika Music, whatever it may be? What are those partnerships before and what's coming?
We're We're almost done with our sports agency. It's called The Family. Once we get the agency in.
And what's the agency? What's
so
the
sports
family?
agency.
Right.
So we're buying an agency. They have 62 players already they're managing, and we have 32 staff there. So once we get the agency, we can represent the players. We're part of the culture. People are coming up. There's not a motive. They feel at home here. We can help people.
And that agency is basketball,
football, hockey, golf, NASCAR.
Did you play sports?
I played football in high school.
Really though?
Yeah, that's it.
And so this is another thing. We talk about lifestyle too, bro. Like those lifestyles bleed into each other.
Yeah.
You know, when we see basketball, you know, you'll see LeBron. You know, LeBron is like an A&R for a music company because he'll put something on and he'll introduce you to a song. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So that
to me was, once we have those pieces, the integration, once you integrate everything, it becomes a community of like-minded people, right? So the basketball player and the artist, friends, right? They're smoking our weed.
Right.
They're wearing our clothes because they're comfortable. They're coming to the building, listen to the music. They're going to the events. You know, it just becomes all integrated.
I saw French Montana online down here as well, you know, shooting on the basketball court.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so what's the relationship with French?
Well, French, I mean, people don't know, I was introduced to French, Meek Mill, Rick Ross in 2012.
Gotcha.
And actually was on tour with Meek and Ross and MGK. Did some stops with them up in Sacramento. So there's a lot of history for myself, you know, in the music space. And so I've known French for 12 years.
Back to the family. Was the family always there as far as the sports agency? Was it always called the family? Or is that something that it seems like it falls right into?
Right. So the owner of the family is also a small owner of Ethika.
Gotcha.
So that's why the name is the same.
And so is that going now or?
It's almost done.
Really though?
Yeah.
Those are different avenues and ventures too, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
but I think at the end of the day, it's one and the same. It's helping people.
And that's what we talk about when we talk about lifestyle as well, bro. You know, when we talk about lifestyle, there is no, everything kind of fall under this, you know, banner, this marquee, under this umbrella. And we've seen so many people that get into positions that, you know, there's a lot of horror stories out there. There's a lot of bad luck things that's going on out there. And I feel with Ethika, just like, there's a lot that you don't want to see happen.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And a lot that we can influence because we're so part of the culture. You know, our voice is influential.
Does it ever get too much?
Well, you just have to, you just can't go too far. You know, because if you're influencing something that then ends up not being right or good, you know, you're going to start to lose credibility. So you just have to get right up to the line.
How do you block out the noise? You know, because now with the device, everybody has an opinion. Everybody has something that they could say. You know, how do you block out the noise and continue with the tunnel vision to not get caught up?
I don't look at, and I poise will tell you, we don't look at what other people do. We come up with our own shit that we think's cool, and then we do it. And if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, we'll make an adjustment and we'll go forward and do something.
Man, I want
to
bring up a name to you.
Yeah.
And you just tell me what this person means to you. Eric White.
Eric White.
Yes.
I don't know Eric White. I mean, maybe I do, but maybe I've lost my memory. But who's Eric White?
No, Eric White is the guy I grew up with. He's sitting over there. He told me I never bring his name up in interviews. So Eric, let me see over here. Did I put Eric White in there? All right. So Eric, you're in, all right? He watches all my interviews. He's like, man, I hear you give this person a shout out, this person a shout out, but you never said my name. So shout out to Eric White. He lives in the Bay Area now. We grew up in Culver City at one point, and we lived in a place called Tar Heel. So thank you, Eric. Thank you. You good, Eric? All righty.
That's a good example.
Yes, Provision Sports
what
Training.
It is.
What is Provision Sports Training?
So Provision is owned by Darren Collison, who's an ex-NBA player. He approached us, and sports was part of our overall strategy. And for me, it was a way that we could help the youth, the AU basketball youth. And then also, we're just part of their culture anyway.
Right.
And
so that's a lot of AAU?
Yeah. It's
wow.
all that.
That's good. Yeah, I brought my son down here.
Teams.
My son Jaden plays. He's a varsity player. Shout out to my son Jaden.
I saw him.
But yeah, it's crazy.
I think he made some money.
Yeah. I'm not gonna say that he made $3,000 from UMass while he was here.
He made some shots from the lounge.
Yeah,
I mean, it's pretty impressive.
Bro, and it was crazy because there's and we'll put it up in the interview as well. But there's a lounge and there's a basket and you shoot to this far ass basket and he popped them, bro.
Yeah.
But he popped them as, you said, man, you make, 3 shots. There was a good amount of money on there.
Yeah.
Good amount of money.
I was actually hyping him up there.
Dude.
You got this, make switches.
Man, I'm telling you, bro, if I had that kind of money on the line, I wouldn't be like hyping like, oh, you got this. I'd be like, hey, dude, you make this, I'm going to kill your dad. You know what I'm saying?
But response to that.
But you have, there's a fondness for AAU and these future rising stars as well.
Yeah, you know where that came from is just being exposed with Meek and Chino and just being in that environment. And then also with our Let's Get Signed program, bringing kids in that don't have driver's license. They get to the airport and they're like, I can't get on my flight.
And never probably been on a plane.
Never been out of the block.
Right.
So when they get here and there's talent and we want to work with them, we're having to get them apartments. They don't have bank accounts. They don't have cars. So we're having to do those things for them. In addition to any trauma that's happened, we've put 2 people in rehabs, personally, myself, and they've stayed at my house to get them back to a point, a baseline level for themselves. So, you have to take care of these people when they come in. And then what it does, it exposes you to what the fuck is going on. How do they not have a driver's license? Like, what's happening?
Man, and
it's like, fuck, like.
This is gonna sound like such a basic and generic question, bro. But why do you care?
I don't know.
That's crazy,
I guess I
right?
like helping people. It's just, when I see something that doesn't feel right, I just feel like I have to fix it. It's.
Has that always been you?
I don't know, maybe more so since being sick.
Yeah.
Just changing perspective on things. And I don't need to work if I don't want to. I'm doing this because I love to do it and love to help people and want to give back. And it ends up building what we're doing. It's a byproduct of helping people. So.
And bro, it's not just one. It's like you're taking a wide net and bringing up a lot of fish.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And fish that hasn't been in this position ever. And that's a lot of dreams too.
I had no idea. I would come in the studio sometimes and people would get nervous to see me and have to sit down. I'm like, what's the deal,
Man, it's crazy because you also not, there's some people that they're the face of something.
Yeah.
You'll look, and even like with Rolling Loud, like I know my interview is going to be with Tariq. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's almost like we had to damn near tackle you. You know what I'm saying? To do this interview, and you were almost upstairs, like when we did Dr. Dre's star ceremony, and I hosted it and everything, right? And I remember when I was telling Dre, like, man, you should get a star, this, that, and the other. I got my star on Hollywood Walk of Fame, and my man said to me, he said, "Big, man, make it make sense to me." And I was like, dude, Snoop got his, Cube got his, it's an honor, it's this, that, and the other. Even when I came here today, not that you said those same words, but it almost felt like make it make sense of why I'm talking about me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I was like, bro, it makes sense to talk about you because the connection. And you know when people say, oh, you know, like, you're like a faucet. And I say this about myself with my family and friends and everything, bro. There's times when people say, you know, oh, my cup runneth over. Somebody got to be the faucet. And though, whatever blessings you have, bro, and you're that faucet, you're making other people's cup runneth over.
Right.
Making other people be in a position where they can take care of their mom, their dad, themselves, their family, their kids, whatever it may be. So sometimes you got to step back or step out and say, this is why I'm
tough.
doing it.
I'm a behind-the-scenes guy, you know?
Yeah, and you do well behind the scenes. I mean, shit, I don't know what's your square footage here, but I can tell you one thing, dude. I had to stop like 4 or 5 times just walking around this motherfucker, you know? Yeah. But we haven't even seen the best out of Ethika or the best out of Matt.
No, we're just getting started. We're just getting started because once
and you know that.
Yeah, once the music, I already know that it's going to happen. And I tell the employees it's the journey is the experience, right? Because we already know the destination, what it is.
Gotcha.
And I already know it's coming.
Why do you, and how do you know that?
Because I do. It's just going to happen. And
do you
so
think
it's
you've
just
seen
the
it
journey. Before? Yeah, I've already seen the end game, right? So it's just, how fun is the journey going to be?
Do you listen to people now that'll say, you know, let's get, you know, with signing people, with taking care of people, music, dealing with, you know, and music is like people's creation, you know, they're babies. Do you have people now that tell you still, like, man, why are you doing this? Ethika is successful.
My brain surgeon, Ollie, asked me.
Yeah.
I mean, mostly, you know, from a medical standpoint, the stress creates, you know, additional potential symptoms and things like that. So but there's so much to get done.
Right.
You know, once our music gets integrated and our agency does, our events do, and when things get integrated, then we'll be really a force to reckon with, right?
Personally, what is a so-called bad health day for you? Like what's the push through?
I don't know. I have to ask my assistant. We're on the same page.
Your assistant knows? like, oh, his head is hurting right now. Yeah. You know, like, yeah, what's the push through?
Well, my ears ring 24/7. My eyesight will change probably every couple weeks.
Damn. Can you drive?
No, I have a driver.
And do you have a driver out of convenience, or do you have a driver out of
safety,
necessity?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you? Yeah. I'm gonna make sure that I leave 10 minutes before you or 10 minutes after you, just in case. You know what I'm saying? Just in case you drive yourself home tonight. Like, forget that, man. But you know that there's a mission.
Yeah.
And that's gotta be, you know, when you know that you want something and you know you want to get somewhere and you know you have a purpose.
Yeah, it's a purpose.
Yeah, man.
That's the problem with being home. Being sick, it's like, what's your purpose? That's what it comes down to. And you boil all the way down. What's the purpose, right? So it's the same thing we preach here. If we're going to do a collaboration or a brand alignment, it's like, what's that purpose? What are we doing it for? Are we doing it to sell more product? Are we doing it to create a relationship? Are we doing it to help someone out? But what's the purpose? Right. Until you know what that is, you can't even move forward. And so I know what the purpose is for the brand. So now for me, it's just go.
Man, I saw Rolling Loud, Los Angeles, 2024. And there's stages. Yeah. But when I walked in and I saw Ethika, the Ethika stage, when did you know to tap in and say, man, if we're going to do this, we got to sponsor the biggest stage with Post Malone, Nicki Minaj, Chief Keef and fucking Sexy Red came out on that stage. You know, Future, Metro Boomin, Travis Scott touched that stage. Like, what was behind making sure that when we walked in, boom, we saw that?
So for me, we're ready to start releasing music, finally. right? We created for 2 years. I was sick for almost 2 years. And then it's been about 6 months. And so now it's finally, we're ready to release.
This is go.
So now it's time to go. So it doesn't matter what it is, whether it's underwear or hoodies, or we make beach towels, or it's our basketball court, the professional NBA court, right? Like, it doesn't matter what it is, our factory, everything has to be the best. And so you can't come out unless you're gonna just be at the top, right? So it's gotta be over the top.
Bro, if I had any problems with Ethika as a brand, personal problem with you, and I walked in and I saw that, I would have left.
Yeah.
It was, you couldn't deny what that shit looked like. Did you go to Rolling Loud? Because you probably was at the house.
I was, I mean, shit.
Keep it real.
There was
you didn't
like,
go, huh?
No. It was like...
but you were there.
I was in the back of the car, sick as a dog, yeah.
Oh, really?
We worked, I mean, the whole team worked so hard for probably a week and a half. I didn't sleep for 3 days.
How long does it take before you put something like that together, though? Because, like I told you, I walked in.
We decided late. We decided about 2 weeks before it was going to be, before Rolling Loud. So that was why it was like 30 of us nonstop.
But, and I mean,
it worked, right?
Oh, hell yeah.
I mean, it looked like we owned the...
Bro, we were talking, I was talking with
festival.
Ani that does social media for us, right? And it was just one clip that she was showing, and she was like, oh yeah, this got 5.6 million views. And I'm like, and it's Ethika right there. And that kind of branding, bro, is genius. And especially when we go all the way back down to lifestyle. It didn't even say Ethika music.
No.
You know, it didn't say Ethika underwear, but when you went there, it was like Ethika and everything that come under that. Did you have any of your artists on there? Or that'd be a greater later for you?
I think it's going to be greater later for us. We wanted to get our artists on the main stage. We made a deal to get a separate stage, and it didn't really work out. So we weren't able to have the artists perform, but we flew all of the 10 artists in. We gave them all nice new chains, nice Letterman's jackets.
Oh, that's chaining day right there.
It was a nice gift for them. We just dressed everybody up, you know? I think if you're going to play the part, and you're going to be out there, and you got to
have this and that.
You got to be put together all the way.
Yes, sir. All right, and country superstar Morgan Wallen. When we talk about covering bases, we done covered cannabis, we done covered AAU basketball, we done covered the family, the agency, Ethika, Rolling Loud stage. Morgan Wallen, country sensation.
So Morgan Wallen, the story with Morgan Wallen was 2018, he was the third opener for Luke Bryant. We were at the concert giving Luke Bryant product, and Morgan was by himself, and Danny, our VP of marketing, and his wife met him.
This is 2018.
2018, yeah. Third
See,
opener.
now
he was
it's
by himself.
Now it's genius.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah. That's genius. That's low hanging fruit.
But really, it's getting people close to this connection, right? And connecting people, and then allowing people to believe in themselves, right? Because other people believe in them.
Right.
So, and you get that when you're next to Ethika, because there's a cosign that happens that's real powerful when Ethika, that's why I'm saying the influence that we have is real powerful because we're so part of the community and the culture, right? So we say Morgan School, well, he ends up being cool.
But in 2018, how many people probably walked past Morgan Wallen?
You know,
and then even when
like
you say opening, it's like opening for the opener.
Yeah, the third opener.
You know what I'm saying?
He's by himself at a bar. Yeah.
And you see that, and but the same way, you got to see this in the talent that you're signing now.
Yeah.
You see something that
it's like-minded people. I mean, the people that we signed waited 2 years for me to come back.
Gotcha.
Didn't do anything, right? Was waiting for me to come back.
What is that relationship with Morgan Wallen, though? What if that had a title to it? What would that be called?
You know, I've seen him the most comfortable, and I've only met him I think one time at a Houston concert, his last concert just recently, but he's the most comfortable when he is around Danny, our VP marketing, his wife, myself. It's just, I don't know why, they feel comfortable.
You said a couple of times when we were speaking about music, a couple of times you said the records I produced or I produced.
Yeah.
And I let that get past me a couple of times. I was gonna bring it back to you. When you say I produced, you're doing production?
Yeah. So when we started the Let's Get Signed program, we were just getting beats from random people. And to me, that just seemed so weird because they would send 20 beats to this person and 20 to this person, 20 to that person, and you didn't know if it was being used or not. So I just taught myself how to create beats, and I, you know, it's the musicophilia aspect that happened, and it was just so easy for me. I don't know, you know, people will say like, "How are you doing?" I have no idea.
But you didn't grow up playing piano or?
No, I mean I play a little piano.
Right.
Now I can play like I just make up stuff.
Being a producer also, with all the slashes that come with it, man. Being a producer also, did that come from when you had COVID, when you were sick, and you know, and what was the?
It's a temporal lobe injury. Yeah. And
did that come from?
Yeah.
The injury.
So the brain surgeon, Ali Mizawali is his name. When he explained it to me, and he gave me a book. It's called Musicophilia. So it has accounts of everybody. A chiropractor gets hit by lightning, and now he's performing in front of 2,500 people doing concert pianist. He's never done it before in his life, but now he can just play. And so people see colors, for instance.
Do you see colors?
I see some colors. Well, mine's more 3D, visual, and notes, separate notes, so or instruments, the guitar, the shaker.
And does that stand out easy to you?
And when something's not right, it bothers me, which Ollie said that's normal.
And when you say something's not right, if you're listening to something in production?
Yeah, like if a hi-hat's too high or it's not the right pitch or something, it'll bother my ear.
Do your team know to follow that?
Yeah, they know I'm super fucking angle.
Right.
You know? Trust me.
But that's crazy. That's more of that, you know, the curse and the gift.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's
but
more
at the end of the day, it's about the end product, right? And if the end product is going to be the best, well, we're going to take the time to make sure it's the best.
Did you play anything for me today that you produced?
No.
Okay. But your team, they're not just saying, oh, it's good and it's trash because they don't want to hurt you.
No.
You know, they're like, oh, man, I
was at Rick Ross at his house. We spent 6 hours listening to the music together, just sitting there. And I tell you, every song, he was looking at me. What? You made this? Like, he couldn't process it.
What's the relationship with Rick Ross?
Well, Rick, I've known since 2012.
Right.
He managed Meek, and I was on tour with them for several stops.
And what about this, if we could speak on what's going on with Timbaland?
So, this is a random story. But basically, he got some of my beats or heard some of my music, and something keyed with him. And he sent his girlfriend and his PR person up here. Like, they flew in one morning, and they flew out the next day. He wants to listen to my music. So he wants me to, I'm going down tomorrow to his house, and we're going to spend 2 days, and he says he just wants to listen to my music.
Really? Why?
I don't know.
And Timbaland, bro.
I know, it's like crazy, right?
He can get anybody.
I know.
And every producer want to get next to Timbaland.
I know.
And he seeked you out. Is there a common ground with what he heard? Or
when his girl, Michelle was telling me he was in a car accident. He had injured his eye and had a concussion. And I think she did recall, like, he started getting heavy into music after that. And he does see colors. So, what she had said. which means he's got some damage to the temporal lobe, which is part of this music affiliate.
But y'all haven't been in the same room as of yet.
No, like he texts me like all day. I can't wait to meet. Fire, 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 you know?
What is that?
I'm the same way, and
like,
it's like, I'm like, geez, I don't even know what to say. It's Timberland, right? Like,
yeah, man. It's
just going to be a validation for the music for us, which is, to me, a big fuck you to everybody.
Yeah. Hey, man, I just had a sit down with Ye as well, man, and everything that, you know, Ye go through and a lot of stuff Ye put himself into. He'll just say, like, yeah, bro, being back to the music and winning at the music is a, you know, he said the same words. It's a big fuck you.
But yeah, also, you know, he was in a big car accident, if you remember.
Yeah.
He has wired, mouth
Yeah,
wired
through the
shut,
wire.
right? You don't know, maybe something happened then.
We spoke on, you know, some of the rear views, some of the people that's still around right now, as far as artists. You know, what's coming now? What's coming later?
Well, there's this. I have a list. It's over 30 people that want to come and do music with me. And so, interesting, last week, Anita, who's like the Beyonce of Brazil.
Come on, bro.
She,
Are you going to Brazil to record?
I am. We're going to go down.
With you. You know what I'm saying?
So, one of the artists, G-Shit, one of our 10, is best friends with the producer and got him on FaceTime, and he heard one of my beats and he was like, wow. And then in like 5 seconds, I was like, all right, let's go down. And he wants to he's finishing an album for her, so he wants to work on it together.
So someone that you find that, in a sense, you're helping, is that through Let's Get Signed as well?
Yeah.
But that person was able to put you with someone too.
Yeah. I mean, if you just think about,
you with Anita.
Yeah, if you just think about if that happens and the revenue, I mean, it's a lot of money, right? And that's why we put it just back into the business and the culture and help people out.
Hey, man, and you mentioned things like, we know this shit. Like, who else? You know, because I was sitting here and I'm like, oh yeah, we speaking on Dirk, Kitty, we speaking on everyone. But then like, oh yeah, and Anita.
Nada, Kano, yeah.
So and that's from your production, like you'll do that as a producer as well?
Yeah. So somebody also hit me today about, I just looked at their Spotify, they had 32 million followers. I don't know who they are. Hit me on DM to work with them.
Hey, dude, why do you have such a drive, like, still? You know what I'm saying? Because there's some people that'll say, man, I was retired, then I get back in, I have a very successful business. You could not show up to the office. You could not say, man, what's our new drops? What's the new patterns? There don't have to be no Let's Get Signed. You don't have to help other people. You don't have to do Ethika music. You don't have to do Rolling Loud stage. You don't have to be a producer. Like, what keeps you going? And not only going, but exploring new things when you're so successful in other things?
Well, I think I guess the way I look at it, right, is the same way I looked at building Ethika, which was music ended up being the central kind of nucleus like Ethika is to access a country singer and a country customer or a Latin customer or a hip-hop customer or whoever, right? And so music, and then music because of, you know, my personal problems is also so easy for me, and it actually, Ollie was talking about how it settles my nervous system because what I'm doing is in a certain frequency always. And so the music, you know, satisfies my health issue, but that also is the nucleus of the brand. So to me, it's all about the music, really.
Is music therapeutic for you as well? Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. And is that something
That's
that
how
you
we have
do?
1,800 records.
Yeah, yeah. You know what I'm saying? Is that something that you do every day?
Yes.
Every day. And you know it.
Yep.
And you know you're going to get up and you're going to either be creating or
probably
create
5
something.
beats tonight. And I don't even know how I'll do it.
Man,
I'll come in with B and we'll be like, oh, I don't even know, darling.
And your energy's through the roof, bro. Huh?
Yeah.
That's beautiful, bro. Beautiful. Man, how many pair of underwear do you think you own? Do you wear a new pair of Ethicas every day?
Yes. Have them send me every pair so I can test them and make sure they're okay. So I get every pair. So I just.
But on Christmas, like holidays, I'm not getting underwear from you, am I?
If you need it, I'll
right.
give it to you.
Okay. But that's crazy, man, just to have all that at your disposal.
I mean, it's whatever.
Yeah, it's whatever because you own the fucking company.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? My guy Eric White,
yeah,
who I gave a shout out to earlier.
Yeah,
he was like,
oh yeah, Eric. Yeah.
Oh, can you imagine if you would have played me like, oh, that's my guy. Yeah. Man, it's been years, and it would have been true if you said it's been years that I haven't talked since I've talked to Eric. Right. But you kept that shit real as a motherfucker. You're like, Eric.
It is what it is.
You're like, no, I don't know Eric. You know what I'm saying? I don't know Eric,
like,
but I do know Kid Ink. You know what I'm saying? Like,
but it's pretty dope.
Yeah, and you've been in some great relationships, bro. Yeah. And I can't wait to see what's coming next. You know, let's get signed. Of course, you know, you guys working in the cannabis areas, the sponsorships. You coming from behind the curtain a little bit more.
Yeah, right.
And talking and whatever is around the corner, man. If somebody asks you the generic question, what's the future of Ethika? What is that?
I mean, to me, it's to round out the culture with the brand in the different areas of what is moving culture, and then provide to that culture the messaging and the narrative and the things that we stand for, right? Mm-hmm. And that's why I think people are connected to the brand, is because we're aligned on values and you know, vision statements and what's good and what's not and so forth. And so that's why people get connected, right? And now if you can round out the culture with products that help those people, then I think that's the vision for the brand.
You know,
right?
what I had a chance to bear witness to as well, bro, is it feels like you still listen to your team. You have an amazing team. You know what I'm saying? And with Darius, everybody that I've met here, B. Scott that worked with you, bro, this motherfucker. If he not happy here, I'm taking him.
Yeah.
But
I hired him off FaceTime.
Man, that dude is amazing.
Yeah.
But also, it seems like you listen to your team as opposed to being the tyrannical ruler, my way, highway kind of thing. How important is that Ethika team to you?
So the team is everything, right? Because what you realize, if you don't have a team that you're aligned with, then there's fragmentation, disconnection, people aren't talking, people are doing different things. There's not a unity type feeling, right? So that messaging and the ideas and the mindset has to be across the entire company, right? Mm-hmm. And so you end up just hiring like people.
Right.
And then you get that naturally.
And it's crazy when people say teamwork make the dream work, but that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Because I mean, you just have to be real and say, the best idea is the best idea. And that might be mine. You know? So, I mean, B's telling me, you know, maybe we should just use this other beat after I've like kind of fucked with it and messed it up. Right. I'm like, all right, whatever.
But you listen.
I know, but I'm going to keep it for my playlist, you know?
Yeah. And you listen, though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's
Matt, bro, it was a pleasure sitting with you, man.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it again.
All right.
We're going to do it again, bro. And I can't wait to see what's coming.
Yeah. I mean,
you know,
there's
an excitement to
Timberland
what you're
thing
doing.
to me is, I don't know, it's like, what's a once in a million type of opportunity, right?
But
because he's like moved music.
You know, and it's
3 times, right? Like,
and what's crazy, man, is that Ethika is bigger than what goes around my waist.
Yep.
You know, what keep my scrotum in place.
Yeah.
You know, Ethika is, you can't say, oh, Ethika is it's a brand of underwear. Like when you say Ethika, and especially what I've been seeing recently, Ethika is a name with so much under that umbrella.
Because there's depth and there's authenticity.
Bro. Yeah, and you're doing great work, man, and the entire team doing great work, bro. And I thank you for your time. Now you can climb back into your
I'm gonna go make some beats.
Get back into your cave and shit and go create. Matt Cook, appreciate you, my brother. Let's believe that, man. Hello.
Thank you.